Pete Davidson, the 30-year-old former Saturday Night Live star who's become something of a legend in the dating world. Seriously. This guy's romance resume reads like a who's who of Hollywood hotties. We're talking A-listers, bombshells, and everything in between. It's like he's got some sort of charm potion hidden up his sleeve that makes all these stunning ladies swoon. But what's his secret sauce? What's the deal with this tall, inked-up, goofy-looking guy that has the most gorgeous gals lining up for a chance to hang out? Let's peel back the layers of this comedic Casanova and see what makes him such a heartthrob magnet. Pete Davidson, the comedic wizard of the dating scene, has a track record that's juicier than a Western drama series. He's like the real-life Podrick from Game of Thrones, if Podrick had a knack for snagging dates faster than you can say, winter is coming. You know, like how Pod's always got ladies lining up much to the befuddlement of his pals Tyrion and Bronn. Pete's kinda the same deal, except instead of slaying dragons, he's slaying hearts. Let's take a trip down memory lane. He and Larry David's daughter, Cazzie, had a thing for 2 years. Then boom, he's putting a ring on Ariana Grande's finger, only to call it quits quicker than you can say, I do. Next up, Kate Beckinsale, 20 years his senior, but their flame fizzled out faster than a wet firecracker. Margaret Qualley made a cameo, but it was short-lived. Enter Kaia Gerber, model extraordinaire, but their love train derailed in record time. Then there's Phoebe Dyvenor, the Bridgerton beauty, but their romance ended faster than a Netflix binge. And just when you think he's done, he's spotted cozying up to Kim Kardashian, sending the rumor mill into overdrive. Who knows what's next for our comedic Casanova? With Pete Davidson, it's always a rollercoaster ride through the realm of romance. But this leaves us all wondering, how does he do it? Number 1. His hilariously infectious humor.
I had an AIDS scare this year. Yeah, I did, and you're like, Pete, wow, what's going on in your life? Are you sharing needles? You doing heroin? Are you having tons of unprotected sex? No, Kanye told me I had AIDS.
Pete Davidson's superpower is his killer sense of humor. You've seen him on Saturday Night Live, cracking jokes that could split your sides faster than a karate chop. Turns out the act of humor isn't just for show. It's like catnip for the ladies. Pete's humor acts as a mystical potion, like a drug of some sort, capable of enhancing your well-being, lifting your spirits, and even making you addicted to laughter. Think about it. Laughter isn't just good for a quick giggle, it's practically a superfood for your soul. Studies have shown that chuckling can actually boost your brain power, make you feel more confident, and even add years to your life. So when Pete's cracking wise, he's not just making you LOL, he's turning you into a glowing beacon of joy and vitality. And hey, who wouldn't want a piece of that? It's like he's got a secret weapon tucked away in his comedy arsenal, and every time he unleashes a zinger, it's like Cupid shooting his arrow straight into your funny bone. So yeah, it's no wonder those leading ladies can't resist Pete's charm. With him around, it's like living in a perpetual comedy club. And who wouldn't want a front row seat to that show? Number 2. His quirky charm. Now, let's talk about Pete's other superpower, his strangely endearing sweetness. Sure, he might give off a bit of a bad boy vibe with all those tattoos and whatnot, but underneath it all, there's a heart of gold. People say he's got this aura of sweetness and innocence, like a lost puppy wandering through the streets of Brooklyn. It's like he's got this magnetic pull that draws you in, making you want to wrap him up in a big ol' hug. And apparently, he's a real gentleman too, especially when it comes to the ladies. They say he's all politeness and charm, like a modern-day knight in shining armor. Minus the armor, of course. So yeah, while Pete might seem like an enigma wrapped in a mystery wrapped in a hoodie, there's no denying the irresistible allure of his quirky charm. He's like a walking contradiction, and somehow that just makes him all the more intriguing. Number 3. Pete's positively charming vulnerability. Turns out, this guy isn't just a one-trick pony with his jokes. He's got a heart as big as his sense of humor. Pete's like an open book, and he's not afraid to spill the ink about his own struggles. Back in 2017, he revealed he's got this thing called borderline personality disorder. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but it's basically a peek into the real Pete. It's this vulnerability that's got the ladies flocking like seagulls to a French fry. Pete's not your typical comedian, you see. He's not all arrogance and sarcasm. He's the guy who wears his heart on his sleeve. Imagine him as that cute puppy with the big, soulful eyes. Irresistible, right? So here's the deal. Pete's got this genuine, transparent vibe that makes him relatable. Women want to be the superhero who helps him conquer his past demons. They see that cute puppy demeanor, and suddenly they're on a mission to save the day. It's like Pete's the leading man in his very own rom-com, and everyone's rooting for him to find his happily ever after. Number 4. Pete's star-studded bromance bonanza. Pete's VIP ticket to Hollywood's inner circle is another big factor. You see, he's been in the spotlight with Saturday Night Live since 2014, and along the way, he's collected a star-studded entourage of friends that could make any red carpet jealous. In Hollywood, having famous friends is like having a golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. SNL and Hollywood go together like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and Pete's right in the thick of it. Think Mike Myers, Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy, the comedic A-listers. Being part of this elite crew makes Pete a total chick magnet. It's like having a backstage pass to the coolest show in town. You know how they say successful guys are like catnip for the ladies? And Pete's not just successful. He's Hollywood stardom on legs. So there you have it. Pete's not just a funny guy. He's the leading man with a squad that's the envy of Hollywood. Number 5. Pete's towering presence. All right, folks, let's talk about Pete's impressive stature. The guy's literally standing tall at a whopping 6'3". Now that's like skyscraper status, especially in the dating world, where taller guys often have a leg up, pun intended, on the competition. It's all about biology and instinct. See, taller dudes are wired into the ladies' DNA as symbols of strength and success. It's like women's brains are hardwired to think, hey, this guy must be the king of the jungle. And it's not just about reaching the top shelf or snagging that basketball trophy. Being tall can also translate to financial success. Studies show that taller fellas tend to rake in more cash, probably because they've got that whole alpha male vibe going on. So when Pete struts his stuff at 6'3", he's basically broadcasting his dominance to the world. And let's face it, who wouldn't feel safe and secure in the arms of a giant? Plus, let's not forget about Hollywood's latest trend. Gorgeous, model-esque ladies cozying up to less conventionally attractive guys. Just take a look at Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox, or Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian. Now add Pete and Kim Kardashian to the mix, and you've got yourself a full-blown romance revolution. Number 6. The fixer-upper fantasy. Now let's dive into the irresistible allure of the so-called damaged man. You know, the brooding, troubled soul who's been through the emotional ringer? Well, Pete Davidson fits that bill like a glove. From losing his dad at a young age to battling mental and physical health issues, he's got a backstory that could make even the toughest cookie shed a tear. Women are drawn to that kind of vulnerability, like moths to a flame. It's like we've got this built-in urge to swoop in and play the hero, fixing all his broken pieces along the way. Call it their nurturing instinct or just plain old romantic idealism, but there's something undeniably appealing about the prospect of rescuing the wounded knight in shining armor. So yeah, when it comes to Pete Davidson, it's not just about the laughs and the charm. It's about the chance to be someone's knight in shining armor. Number 7. The Big D energy. Next is the biggest buzz around Pete Davidson, Big D energy, or BDE for short. Now this whole shebang's kicked off back in 2018 when Pete and Ariana Grande became the talk of the town faster than you can say pop sensation. I mean, they went from zero to engaged in the blink of an eye, causing a social media meltdown of epic proportions. But here's where it gets spicy. That infamous paparazzi snap of Ariana giving Pete the googly eyes while licking a lollipop. Yeah, that sent the internet into a frenzy. Suddenly, Pete wasn't just a comedian, he was the poster child for big energy. And while the term might sound like it's all about size, it's actually more about the vibe you give off. Think of it like confidence on steroids, without any of the arrogance or showiness. So yeah, Pete might have inadvertently become the face, or should I say the D of BDE. But it's not the only reason why the ladies can't get enough of him. Sure, it adds a little extra spice to his charm, but at the end of the day, it's Pete's humor, vulnerability, and all-around quirky charm that keeps us coming back for more. Look, you might not be a celeb like Pete Davidson, but you can still score big points with the ladies by channeling that big energy vibe and showing a little vulnerability. Think of Pete as the real-life Podrick. Not flashy, not loaded with cash, but friendly and approachable. He's like the guy next door who somehow lucks out with the hottest girls in town. So hey, take a page out of Pete's playbook, strut your stuff, and who knows, you might just find yourself living the dream too.